Hello. Today we're going to do what may seem at the beginning the unthinkable. But do not fear. Today's video will be focused on dissecting a package of silver soap. I have a number of packages of silver soap, both wrapped and unwrapped. So today's video will be showing you the dissection of the silver soap. But please rest assured, do not despair that these silver soaps are not the original silver soaps. There are two original silver soaps, and they will not be harmed in the making of this video. So, do not fear, there will be more crinkle heavens featuring the silver soap coming up in the future, the original silver soaps. These ones are mere imitations of the original silver soap. So this one here is one that I wrapped up myself. Part of the magic of the original silver soaps was just how they were wrapped and the plastic cellophane used to wrap them. And even this one, and this one, and I think I kept another one that I won't open up. It's just the way that they were wrapped at that point in time, and a certain cheap plastic cellophane used just gives it that really nice sound. Silver soap dissection. Cheap blade. There we go. Okay, let us open the first silver soap package. I'm trying to work out how it was wrapped. To unwrap it as carefully as possible. Here we go. Well, I like stickers that come off. There we go. We'll keep that. Now, there's something here. You should always be careful when using a blade. Always try and cut away from you, and don't hold it like I was just holding it. Sounds recording, videos recording. So I can't quite work out how it was wrapped. When in doubt, just cut. Ooh, it is free. Smells like soap. So that's unique. So it's been cut in a certain shape before wrapping it. My wrapping skills are not very good, I must warn you. Alright, the first dissected piece of silver soap. Alright, there's my wrapping skills. Can you see that okay? Hang on, let's see if we can just adjust the... There you go. So you should be able to see that. Okay. Alright. So this was one of my first attempts at wrapping the silver soap. It's time 1 o'clock. So I might keep one of these ones wrapped. Which one sounds the best? This one here has lots of layers of plastic. That one there sounds okay. This one here feels a little bit more predictable. Alright, we're going to keep that guy. Sorry. Alright, let the dissection begin. So while I'm doing this, I'll have a bit of a ramble on. Something that I've always been following is the mixed martial arts world. I've been into mixed martial arts for a very, very long time. I got into mixed martial arts, or watching mixed martial arts, from my passion for kickboxing. I'll recount one of my early memorable moments of witnessing a kickboxing fight. So I'll just set the background. So a friend and I were going to what's called the Brisbane Entertainment Centre, which is the largest venue in our state to host a live event. And there were two brothers, Briggs. Paul Briggs, was it? And his brother, I think it was. This is when they were really, really young. And kickboxing was quite big in Australia at that point in time. There was no such thing as MMA. And the promoter brought fighters over from Thailand. And so we started to watch the card, and like a promoter's going to want an event where you don't want to bring people from overseas and the overseas fighters beat all of the local fighters. So the first few fights was pretty entertaining, quite good, but you felt that the Australians were a little bit stronger at that point in time. And it was still an entertaining live event. And then the main event comes. So it was one of the Briggs brothers, and he was fighting, I'm guessing, for some type of kickboxing world title. It's not like boxing where they have 4 main belts. Kickboxing is there's all different types of belts. And so they're fighting for some type of kickboxing title. This is going back, it must be almost 20 years. And the fighter come out, or the Australian fighter, and then the Thai fighter come out. And I don't know if you've seen much real Muay Thai, Thailand kickboxers and their fights. They can be quite vicious, and some of those guys are very, very tough. And when this fighter come out to the ring, you could just see he was just a level beyond and above every other fighter that they'd already brought over from Thailand. This guy looked mean, and you would be scared if you saw him in a back alley. Even if you were a 200-pound guy, you would question yourself on this type of individual. So he was quite a scary Thai. And the fight proceeded to begin. And with most Western versus Thai fighters, you'll find that the Western fighters will focus quite heavily using their hands and boxing and moving around and using it more of a boxing match. Whereas a Thai fighter will focus very heavily on leg kicks, grappling and knees. And the fight proceeded, the Australian guy was trying to box and move and kick, but the Thai guy, you could just see nothing was bothering him, and he was moving forward, and he was starting to land leg kicks, and leg kicks can be very, very vicious. And the fight proceeded. I think it got past the first round, but you could see that the leg kicks from the Thai fighter were definitely hurting Briggs, the Australian fighter. And from my memory, which is very, very vague, it got into the second round, and it didn't last very long. The Thai fighter thundered in a couple of just cracking leg kicks, and I think from memory, Paul Briggs went down, and somewhere around that point it was the end of the fight, and the Thai fighter won. So where this story is leading up to is to the UFC fight, which you may have all just witnessed, of the absolute legend Sylvia breaking his leg against Chris Weidman. So I was quite interested to watch the second fight, and as most people would think, and most people betting on odds, you would put your money on Silva, because he's just the pound for pound best MMA fighter in the world. But I watched the first fight, and Chris Weidman, I was extremely impressed with him, his composure, his movement. He seemed to have a good plan in the first fight, and the punch that he knocked out Silva with in the first fight, it was not a lucky punch, it was a genuine punch. So I expected Silva to come out and just to crack the shit out of him. But the first round come along, and Weidman cracked Silver again and knocked him down. Saw his eyes roll in the back of his head. And it's just a testament to the MMA fighters' training on just how quickly they can recover from being basically KO'd. Me, I'd be out cold. But these guys, they recover really quickly. So to Silver's credit, he held on, got through the round, and he did okay. But he definitely lost the first round. So again, Weidman beat Silver for that round. And then Silver come out, cracked a few big leg kicks. And those leg kicks are very quick, very fast. And Weidman must have been working on checking those leg kicks, and he timed it really well. Placed his knee right in the middle of his shin, and I cringed when I saw that. I couldn't watch it. I think I watched it once, and I couldn't watch it again because it's just painful. So that's kind of where my story was leading to, was the latest MMA UFC fight with Silver and Weidman. So congratulations to Chris Weidman. He deserved to win the second time. It was unfortunate that it ended in that way, and very, very unfortunate for Silver. Like, I never want to see anyone get hurt like that at all. So I hope he recovers okay. If he retires, that's fine. And so congratulations, Chris Weidman, and I wish him the very, very best in his MMA future. So since we're on the subject of MMA, I can keep talking. So we'll touch on George St. Pierre, one of the greatest MMA fighters as well of all time. Intelligent fighter, smart. Sometimes he might be boring to watch because he's trying to win the fight on points. But, these guys, it's their job. You can't expect them to go out and really hurt themselves for our entertainment, even though some fighters do. So, George St. Pierre, he fought Hendricks, I think it was, recently. And in the first round, Hendricks just smashed him. And again, credit to the training that MMA fighters do, that George St. Pierre was able to recover and make it through the whole fight. It was a close fight. I didn't really see it either way. I just let the judges score that one. But what I'm wanting to get to with George St. Pierre is I'm really happy he retired. He took a punishment in that fight, and I support the fighter 100% to retire, basically. Like, it must be so hard on their body to do what they do. So I'm just rambling on about UFC. It's one of my enjoyable pastimes to watch. I guess you could say TV. I don't watch TV at all. Generally, download something and just watch it that way. So just skipping over to a different subject, I went to the cinemas to watch the new Lord of the Rings Hobbit movie. I was really, really excited to go watch that. I'll put him over here. And the feel of the new Hobbit movie felt very different. It feels that the movie felt a little rushed, that there was so much. To fit into the movie, that they kind of had to cut the movie down as much as possible to fit that 3-hour window. So I was kind of a little disappointed with the movie. But still, it was an amazing experience. Going to watch it on the big screen in 3D. So just some of the highlights of the movie. The barrel, the dwarf in the barrel. The dwarf, the barrel scene was really, really well done. I quite enjoyed it, quite fun. And then the dwarf in the barrel was quite hilarious. The whole cinema laughed when he did his thing. And the elven battle scenes are just staggering on just how well the movements, the cinematography, the special effects is just so seamless in that movie. Of just the elvish prince just jumping overhead, and just oh man, I really enjoyed watching the elvish battle scenes. It's just, I just love watching how dexterity, how precise their movements can be, like a circus performer. They have like the dexterity of a circus performer where they can do backflips, jump, balance. I guess that's just the mythology of the elvish race in movies like The Hobbit, roleplay games like D&D, and things like that. Okay, so there's one silver soap wrapped. Feels a little devoid of crinkle sounds. So we'll keep going. So there's one silver soap wrapped. So we'll keep going. But the main feature of the second movie was Smaug, the dragon. That was one thing I was really excited to see. Oh my goodness. Bringing a fire-breathing dragon to life with the budget and the special effects of The Hobbit. That was worth seeing on the big screen. The start where Bilbo is doing what he was there to do. It was, I really liked the start of Bilbo and the Dragon. I'm trying not to give anything away for people that haven't watched it, so I don't want to say too much. And the beginning part was quite good, and I've never read the book, so I don't really know how it was meant to go. But it was quite good, and let's just say that the the animation and the creation of the dragon was really well done in some areas, and just how much of a tough dragon he must be just the way they portrayed it was quite good. And then a couple of moments you weren't quite sure which way it was going to go. But the movie was called The Decimation of Smaug. But I sort of question that title a little bit. So not really a review, it's just me rambling on about the movie. The romantic part of the movie with the elf was strange. So I'm not really quite sure where that was heading, but in the Lord of the Rings movie, the female elves felt quite special. In this movie, the female elf looked fantastic. She looked great. But I just questioned some of her facial expressions during the movie. Elvish people, generally in mythology and my understanding, don't really show a lot of emotion to different races. Yeah, my ones don't sound that good. But anyway, we'll do a couple more quickly. But no, I really enjoyed the new Lord of the Rings movie. Lots of anticipation for it. I went and watched it on Boxing Day. So since we're talking about movies, I'll give you an example of one of my favourite movies of all time. Okay, this is by far not the best movie of all time, but this is just one of those movies that I remember. So I like Japanese samurai type movies, like old school Jet Li movies and stuff like that. You know, action. I'm a guy, so I kind of like action and stuff like that. And there's a movie, I saw it once on a channel here in Australia called SBS. It's like an alternative channel. The same channel that featured the little story on ASMR with me in it. And they had a movie. I don't know how or why, but I recorded it. I think what I was doing at that time is I would just get the old VHS deck recorder, put it on long play, and I'd record like 3 or 4 hours of, or 4 or 8 hours of video. And the whole purpose of that was to, if something good was on, I could watch it later on. Because you never know if anything was good. A lot of it was sort of pretty alternative style video. So I recorded this video, and there was a movie called Beach of the War Gods. I didn't expect anything from it. it has a similar theme to the Seven Samurai, whereas one samurai gathers other samurai to defeat another samurai. So I'll quickly go through the movie. It's one samurai gathers other samurai because a town is under threat. No special story, but the action is epic in its nature, where once the action starts, I think it goes for like 40 or 50 minutes, a continual battle scene. And so basically there's a bad Japanese, I think that's what I think it is. It's basically Japanese pirates attacking a Chinese village. And there's one Chinese warrior that rallies some of the other warriors. And they proceed to try and defend the town against the Japanese pirates. And that movie has one of the most epic battle scenes that I enjoyed very much. If you were to watch it again now, it would look pretty crap. It's not a real good movie, but it's one of those movies that I really remembered and enjoyed. To give you an example of a more recent movie, which is something that you should watch, is, what's it called? It's not. I don't think it's 13 Assassins or 13 Warriors. I'll have to put an Internet Movie Database link in the bottom of the video, so look down there, and it's the same story again. Whereas there's one samurai has been asked to kill the shogun's son, I think it is, because he's a bad person, and that movie is a really, really good movie that most people will enjoy. And the action scene is similar. It's like one big action scene, and the characters are quite good. The cinematography is really good. It's a top movie, and it's something I would recommend that you watch. You remember the movie by the girl and the paintbrush. It's a type of scene that you just can't forget, and it creates quite a lot of emotion in the movie. And the samurai that's leading the other samurais is he does a really, really good job with the acting, and that's a movie that I would recommend. 13 Warriors, 13 Assassins, I think it is. That was one of the best samurai movies I've seen in a very, very long time. Definitely one of the best ones. Alright, after this video, after I wrap this sauce soap, I'm going to wrap it up. Today is New Year's Day here in Australia. My son is asleep in the other room, and as soon as I wrap this up, I will go wake him up and play. Okay. So yeah, there's just a couple of recent movies that I like. So the new Lord of the Rings movie, fantastic. There's a new Keanu Reeves movie coming out, 48 Ronin. I think I'll go to the cinemas and watch that. Always try and support the the movie companies and go see the cinemas that I really want to go see the movies that I really want to watch at the cinemas. There's a lot of hard work that goes into making movies, and I appreciate all of the time and effort that they do. So I try and support the companies that make the movies by going to watch them at the cinemas. Alright, so there's 4 silver soap wrapped. And I've got a couple more there which I'll wrap up later, but I hope you enjoy. Oh, look at this, we can even make it look authentic, even though it doesn't sound authentic. There you go, silver soap. Doesn't sound very good. Another silver soap. Here's one of the original, not the original, but one of the second-rate originals. Alright, thank you very much for listening to my ramble, my crinkling sounds, and just